What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, or again, should I say, the Desktop Legend, because that thing was killing it for me today. Did not crash a single time, so I'm very excited about that. If you run on a Mac and you're trading and it's not working, try getting a desktop PC because it's really helpful. So yeah, for today, I want to talk about a little bit of a review of the stocks that I was trading today, and then talk about the crazy stocks for tomorrow because we got some more SPAC plays coming up, and these things are going to be spiking through the roof. So yeah, let's get into the charts, and I'll explain exactly what you guys need to be looking out for tomorrow because you do not want to miss these. Alrighty, guys, I'm here at my computer, and the biggest watch that I want you guys to keep an eye on for tomorrow is LEAP, and it partnered. Let me show you the news real quick. This is a different one. Let me show you the news real quick. So you can see here, Walmart to create fintech startup with Ribbit Capital. We have the same thing right here on CNBC, and Walmart obviously is WMT, and you can see the shares jumped after hour on these news, I guess on this news. But if you go to Leap, I don't know why that's the ticker for it, but this is a SPAC to my knowledge, and you can see Ribbit Leap Limited. This absolutely spiked after hours, and now has come way back down. So this could be very interesting tomorrow when we have all of the Robinhood investors, buying this, and it just starts to get more hype. And I feel like once people do their research, they're going to understand that this could be a pretty big deal, and we could see this stock continue to rip. If we go look at the 1-year chart, I mean, never been above where it is right now in terms of that big spike. Obviously, it came back down to that area, but I mean. Yeah, I mean, this is looking real good. I mean, it's breaking out to all-time highs if it can hold above this area, and I really expect this one to be on the move, so definitely be watching this tomorrow. Have to see where it goes, but obviously, any type of partnership with a multi-$100 billion company like Walmart is going to be a huge, huge deal, so definitely be on the watch for this one and the moves that it's going to make. Other stocks that are up after hour that I want you guys to keep your eyes on are BDR. This one had a big, nice spike and came back down and is now curling a little bit. So definitely gonna be watching this one in the morning, making sure that I get a good entry with good risk to reward. But I think this one could definitely continue to be interesting. Another one, NSPR, making some moves. I traded this one already a little bit, and it basically, spiked up after hours, but came back down to around these levels. So we'll have to see what this does in pre-market. But again, anything that's spiking hours has the potential to continue and then gap up and continue to run. So just be aware of that. This is another one, BDR. This one went up a ton. Is that the one I just talked about? Yeah, it is. I think it is. Yeah. ISR, that's the one I want to talk about. Yeah, so you can see here, this spiked up. I traded this right after hours, made some money on it here, and then sold it up near the top, and it came back down, and now it's even below where it closed at. So we have to see what this does, but again, anything that moves like this in after hours is something that you want to keep your eyes on. So be watching ISR. And USWS, this is probably another one of the biggest watches, I would say, on par with LEAP. This one is absolutely going for it. You can see right now, I mean, just in after hours alone, it spiked from 52 cents, and right now it's trying to push $1 as I'm recording this video, trying to push past these highs. So if this continues to run, man, could get absolutely crazy. If we go here, obviously, the 1-year chart, there is a decent amount of resistance. Probably $1 is resistance, but then maybe 140s, and then around $2 maybe, 150 and $2. So, I mean, this could definitely see another 100% spike from where it is right now, especially if it sees some type of pullback in pre-market down to the 70-cent area and then continues back on up. That would be really nice. So definitely be watching this stock tomorrow. I'm excited to see what it's going to do. We'll definitely be looking to trade this one. Another one that you want to be on the watch for is ZOM, and this is one that I had in my videos a little bit ago. I bought it back at 35 cents and took a loss on it just because I was cutting my losses quickly, and then it ended up spiking right after I sold it all the way up to 50 cents after hours from where I bought it at 35, and then it gapped up today, and now it's at almost $1. I was buying it right here as it broke out over 96 cents, and I sold right under 98 cents because it printed $1 exactly, but there were 2 million shares of sellers. Like on the level 2, you can see here, there were 2 million shares trying to be sold at $1. So if this thing makes it over $1, it's definitely going to be interesting. It could continue to run. But for now, I'm a little hesitant to trade it, at least in terms of chasing it, unless I can get it right as it's breaking out $1 or get it on a big dip like this. You can see this massive dip here. Look at all these red candles in a row after hours. and then bounced beautifully after that. So again, when you see this many red candles in a row, and then it starts to turn, this is typically a very good sign that you should be dip buying this. And again, you can manage your risk, get out if it continues to fall, but that's normally a pretty good risk to reward strategy, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And what else? Let's see. Oh yeah, so this is one that I definitely want you guys to watch as a swing. I might make my own video on it, its own separate video, but this is one that I had from 330s. If you remember that video, I made it a little bit ago. But again, I bought it down here. It broke out past these highs at 4 and ran all the way up here. I sold it on this day, and now it's getting ready to break back out over these 640 highs. And I think if it's able to do that, able to break past these 640 highs, I think this thing will absolutely continue to run, especially, you know, with the change of power in terms of politics. We have Cuomo. If you go here, that's what I was looking that up for. Cuomo is continuing the push for the legalization of recreational marijuana. Let's just leave it at that. And this would probably have a pretty good impact on the price of this stock. You know, if we continue to get that, and with the new administration coming along, more push for widespread legalization of weed. I probably shouldn't have said that. I'm going to get demonetized, but, you know, it is what it is. And as we see that continuing to go here, if this breaks past 640 highs, I will probably be buying back in now that it is, you know, ready to break out again, and it looks like it's had its consolidation. I could have bought it. Actually, I did buy it here right at 507, but I ended up getting back out because I thought it might crack 5, and I don't have that position anymore. But again, if it breaks out past 640, this is going to be very, very interesting. And this company is fundamentally sound. It has a lot of growth in the future. Do your research on it. Watch some Financial Jeremy if you are not subscribed to him already. He's a great YouTuber in terms of talking about the fundamentals of stocks, so I definitely recommend watching his videos on Planet, why it's such a good investment from the fundamental aspect. I'm not normally huge on fundamentals, but in terms of swing trades, I really like looking at fundamentals, and you can see here, like, it's just ready to break out over that 640 area, and if it does, it could really push, potentially run, you know, another couple dollars a share, so I'm definitely going to be watching for that. And yeah, those are probably my biggest watches for tomorrow. Now, let me just explain really quickly what I traded today. You can see that I closed red on the day. This was my first red day on the year. Pretty big red in terms of, you know, my other stuff. It brought my overall year-to-date profits down to only $28, so pretty much just destroyed what I had going on. But I'm actually grateful that I took this loss, because to me, it was just another valuable lesson, and it kind of got rid of that the stress of trying to force every day being green, because there's good setups that you can take that are going to make a loss, if that makes sense. Like there's a decent setup with good risk to reward that you're going to have to cut at a loss just because it doesn't go your way. But if you're so squeamish that you don't want to take any losses, you're going to be getting out too quickly, and that was an issue that I had. So now that I've taken this loss, I have a red day on the year, there's not as much pressure to make every single day a green day, so I feel like I'm more likely to be okay taking a $10, $20, $30 loss if I have the potential to get a $100 gain. And before, I was like hesitant to do that because I didn't want to have any red days on the year, which was pretty stupid. But yeah, let me just explain this trade really quickly. LMFA. Yeah, so this stock right here, I mean, I basically got in here, and it spiked up here, and my fidelity was being weird. I have the PC now, so it's not as strange as it was before. It doesn't absolutely crash on me, but it had like a different number of shares than I actually had, and the pricing for my unadjusted purchase price was all off. I don't know why. I'm not going to blame my loss on that. I'm going to blame my loss on the fact that I didn't sell into these into this spike, and I don't think I sized incorrectly. I think that was my biggest issue. I think I ended up taking multiple hundreds of shares, which for me, when it's already up this much, and it's not really an A-grade setup because it's kind of just, you know, it's really not that great of a setup. If you look at it, again, it's up an absolute ton. Like there's a long room to fall. There's a long way to fall. There's a lot of room to fall. So in this case, it doesn't make sense to take that many shares. And if you get in bigger than you're comfortable with, it's just a bad trade from the start, which is actually why I took my ZOM trade off the table, because I got in with more shares than I should have right at the breakout of 96. Again, it was trying to break over $1, and I got in for the break of 96 and rode that up here. But I sold that, luckily, for a profit because I realized I sized in too big, and I didn't have a good place to manage my risk. And that's kind of the issue here. Another stock that was popping off today was JUPW. I don't know why I want to say G. I know my letters. This one was very, very low float. And, you know, it was a great buy right as it broke out over 7, because if you look at this one-year chart, there was some resistance at 680s and 7s. So you could have bought here with an automatic order and then sold up here. But I mean, it spiked up very, very quickly. It's a low float, so I mean, it moves like that. The spread was normally pretty ugly on this one, so this one was very difficult to trade in general. Those are some of my other losses, pretty small just in general. A lot of those were just, you know, getting in and then just cutting it because I didn't like the way the trade was going. ISR, that was a decent trade. If I go to this one, this is the one that I did after hours. Again, you guys want to be watching this stock if it's able to come back, but I like watching it after hours because a lot of times there's less resistance than there is during the day just because there's less sellers. So something that's unable to break through a certain level, if it's spiking into close, a lot of times might continue to spike hard in the first few minutes of after hours just because there's less sellers overhead. And that's what I've found. So I really like trading these stocks in that first few minutes of after hours. And yeah, just be watching out for that because, you know, I made more on that stock. I gave some of it back, but I mean, I made 25 on this stock in like 5 minutes, which was more than I'd made on any other stock the entire day. So definitely be watching for the first volatile moves in after hours, especially when news is released. Because again, if I go look at all of these, NSPR, that one was spiking into after hours. ISR was spiking into after hours. LEAP was spiking into after hours. BDR was spiking into after hours. USWS was spiking into after hours. So anything you can catch like early as soon as it starts moving in after hours usually is a pretty safe bet because, again, there's a lot less resistance. Wow, this thing already broke $1. That's crazy. Yeah, keep an eye on this, guys. I don't know how far it's going to go, but I'm very excited to see, and it will definitely be on my watch list. So anyways, that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please remember to smash that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, until next time, let's grow better together.
Tu boca si te despiertas, mi tiempo también es tuyo porque me inspiras. Solo quiero que seas la única que así me mira.